the general philosophies around what it takes to overcome Lyme disease. Now, some of the information we shared is a combination of both natural and modern medicine, because when it comes down to it, our goal is to present you with the most effective strategies that exist for you. And although this is often natural only, in cases like Lyme disease, an integrative approach has been shown to be the most effective option. So what do we know? 1. Catch it early. Your chances of a speedy recovery are greatly increased when you detect and begin treatment in less than a month. Number 2, antibiotics. After watching our episode on the microbiome, you probably understand the dangers of overdoing it with antibiotics, something that is quite common in our Western world. But in the early treatment of Lyme disease, antibiotics are strongly recommended by both naturopaths, herbalists, and modern doctors. Spirochetes are a very tricky bacteria to get rid of once they've colonized in your system. So we want to make sure that we bring out the big guns early on this one. Number 3, testing. What makes Lyme disease even more complex is the fact that most tests are inconclusive. With most tests, you run a high risk of getting a false positive or a false negative, both of which can steer you awry and waste precious time that could be spent seeking out the proper treatment. Now, according to Dr. Patrick Fratellone and others, there are 2 tests that are the most reliable that you should look into. I put quotes around that because none of them are 100% reliable, but these ones are the best. The first is called IGeneX Lab, or IGeneX Lab. The next is the Stony Brook test, also known as the ELISA test, ELISA test. Both of these are highly Googleable, and I suggest you do. Number 4, Lyme disease and its symptoms are caused by a bacteria known as Borrelia, which is a member of the coil-shaped spirochete family. Spirochetes have been on this planet for a lot longer than we humans have, and they are highly adaptive, some people would call them highly intelligent, and capable of masking themselves as other organisms, which makes them extremely tricky to get rid of if you don't detect them early. This is earned them the nickname, the Great Masquerader. The right protocol will not only target and eliminate them from the system, but also, and possibly even more importantly, it will support your body, particularly your immune system, nervous system, and tissues, so that you can thrive while healing from this condition. Number 5, co-infections. The symptoms that many experience with Lyme disease are caused not only by the Borrelia bacteria, but also by an array of other bacteria that are often present in the host insect. There are a number of these, but the most common are Babesia, Bartonella, and Ehrlichia. Many doctors will not test for these co-infections, so it's up to you to get educated and request the appropriate tests from either your doctor or an outside lab. I'm about to give you a great resource that will show you critical information on how to do this in takeaway number 7. Number 6, it's called the Great Masquerader for more than one reason. Not only can Borrelia change its appearance on a cellular level, it can also show up as other diseases, believe it or not. Contrary to what we've been told by modern medicine, the symptoms of Lyme disease go far beyond pain in the joints, fatigue, and foggy headedness. This disease can be misdiagnosed as MS, bipolar, heart disease, arthritis, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, and schizophrenia, to name a few. I've personally met 2 separate individuals during the filming of this series who healed one of the above diseases by digging into the root disease, which was, ta-da, Lyme, and then treating that. Number 7, one of the experts featured in this episode, named Stephen Herod Buhner, wrote the Bible on how to heal Lyme disease. And if you are working through this illness right now, I highly recommend getting a copy. It's called Healing Lyme, and you can get it on Amazon and any other online book retailer. It was profoundly helpful to my family and I when River was diagnosed with Lyme. Number 8, remember, you should always consult with a professional before trying any type of herbal treatment for a serious illness. But for your further study, the most promising and effective herbs that we've come across for the treatment of Lyme are Japanese knotweed, astragalus, cat's claw, Eleutherococcus, medicinal mushrooms, and teasel. 2 more quick announcements. 1, a reminder to click the button below to find out more information on how you can bring the full Remedy docu-series into your home today. When you buy it, you will not only have lifetime access to everything you've seen in the episodes, but you'll also get a ton of bonuses, including ebook guides, extended interviews on specific health conditions, and full transcripts of each episode. You have access to all of this right now at a discounted price, but only during this live premiere, so make sure not to miss it. So what do we have in store for you tomorrow night? Episode 6 is a two-parter. In part 1, we'll be venturing into a vital organ that is considered to be the emperor of the body in Chinese medicine. It's often oversimplified and thought of as just a piece of machinery, but we're now discovering what the ancients always knew, that our heart is far more than just a blood pump. It has an intelligence of its own and can determine not only the health of other organs, but also our mental health and the way we perceive the world. We'll be covering some powerful herbs that are highly beneficial to heart health and blood circulation, as well as unveiling some shocking scientific discoveries that will change the way you view your heart forever. Now in part 2 tomorrow, we'll be shining a light on a mental disorder that seems to be overtaking our modern world right now and leaving many in darkness, sometimes addicted to prescription drugs. I'm talking about depression, and if you're wondering why it's paired with heart health in this episode, there's strong scientific evidence of a connection between the two. In part 2 tomorrow, we'll be covering some breakthrough green medicines that can lift depression as well as general lifestyle wisdom to support a thriving mental and emotional state. We're going to go deep in this one, so make sure to tune in. See you tomorrow.